The Lincoln comes home. I'm Brian Moore, and this is Focus NNS. We're here at the Navy League Sea Air Space Exposition just outside Washington, D.C. We'll show you around the Huntington Ingalls booth in just a moment. Also coming up, Senator Warner comes to Newport News Shipbuilding for the keel laying of SSN 785. But first on deck, it took a little longer than planned, but the Lincoln CVN 72 is in Dry Dock 11 getting ready for its midlife overhaul. Jeremy Buston with our Communications Division has more on the long-awaited arrival.
President Abraham Lincoln once said, "In the end, it's not the years in your life that count, it's the life in your years." Those words ring true for the ship named after our 16th president. Lincoln was originally scheduled to arrive on February 14th, but was delayed due to uncertainties surrounding the defense budget. But on Thursday, March 28th, Newport News shipbuilders, along with the ship's crew, welcomed the USS Abraham Lincoln back to the yard 25 years after her launch. Over the next 3.5 years, shipbuilders will complete refueling and the complex overhaul work necessary so CVN 72 can serve our country for another 25 years.
This is a great place. I mean, we've built some fine ships out of this facility. Heck, the ship that's right behind me was built here in this yard, and she served her country proudly for 25 years, and she's going to serve it for 25 more, thanks to the hard work and the trades that are going to be in there doing the hard work on this ship.
Nearly every area of the ship and every system of the ship will be touched, with more than 2,300 compartments being modernized, along with hundreds of system upgrades. Over the next 3.5 years, more than 20 million man-hours will go into the overhaul process of USS Abraham Lincoln before she returns to the water. 3.5 years from now, Lincoln will be one of the most modern and technologically advanced Nimitz-class aircraft carriers in the fleet and will continue to be a vital part of our national defense. For Focus NNS, I'm Jeremy Buston. Back to you, Brian.
Thank you, Jeremy. The RCOH program is just one of the many things on display here at the Sea Air Space Exposition. And you can learn more about the program by visiting the Newport News Shipbuilding website. Now, let's take a look at some other news from around the yard. President Barack Obama visited Newport News Shipbuilding in February to talk about the budget issues and the automatic budget cuts known as sequestration. Huntington Ingalls Industries CEO Mike Petters introduced President Obama to a crowd of more than 3,000 shipbuilders.
Hello, Newport News! Well, it is good to see all of you here today. I want to thank your CEO, Mike Petters, for showing me around. I usually don't get a chance to hang out with nuclear submarines, especially submarines that my wife has sponsored. So right there, that was worth the trip. But most importantly, it's a great chance to see the incredible men and women who every single day are helping to keep America safe and are just the bedrock of this country's manufacturing base. Thank you to all of you.
The president toured the supplemental module outfitting facility as part of his visit and took time to meet and greet hundreds of shipbuilders before heading back to Washington, D.C. Newport News shipbuilders and the crew of Minnesota shared a first meal on board along with the ship's sponsor, Ellen Ruffhead. The menu included prime rib, shrimp scampi, and potatoes. The menu also included a black forest cake cut by the sponsor herself. Minnesota, the last of the Block II Virginia-class submarines, is more than 96% complete and is on track to deliver in late spring. Well, as we mentioned at the top of the program, we're here at National Harbor just outside Washington, D.C. at the Sea Air Space Exposition. Huntington Ingalls Industries is displaying many of its incredible products and programs. The Navy League's annual Sea Air Space Exposition brings the U.S. Defense Industrial Base, private sector companies, and key military decision makers together. Newport News shipbuilders were front and center for the annual show. From the RCOH program to CVN 78, all were proudly on display for Navy leaders and show attendees to learn more about. The Virginia-class submarine program was also on hand with a model of our latest submarine, the Minnesota.
I think I love the design and layout of this. It shows all of our products all here at once. You can see those laid out, and everybody seems to like the coming through and learning about the products. I think we've had a lot of people come through that really didn't understand the teaming agreement and how we split modules up and delivered modules. A lot of folks interested in coming through and learning about how Virginia class is different than the 688 class, and in terms of being a lot more ready and capable of handling special operations forces and some of the habitability, flexibility of the platform and things of that nature.
Sea Air Space is the largest maritime exposition in the United States, and Huntington Ingalls Industries is a proud sponsor. And speaking of submarines, Newport News Shipbuilding officially authenticated the keel for John Warner, SSN 785. Senator Warner was on hand for the festivities.
I wouldn't be here today had it not been for what the United States Navy did for me in training me in World War II. So I always salute the United States Navy and the United States Marine Corps for putting in the foundations on which this straggly old teenager finally got his sea legs and went on in life to do whatever it is I've done. So think of that on the tough days that, guess what? Someday you may be standing here, each one of you. Thank you.
I hereby declare the keel of this United States Navy submarine, John Warner, has been truly and fairly laid.
And there are more highlights and information about the Warner keel laying on the Newport News Shipbuilding website. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Focus NNS. Make sure you check out all the latest news in our weekly publication Currents and the latest edition of Yard Lines, all available on the Newport News Shipbuilding website. And if you have questions or ideas for Focus NNS, email us at focusnns@hii-nns.com. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Brian Moore.